Have you ever been sitting there, doing absolutely nothing? And then, boom, that person enters your mind again. Not once, not twice, but every single day. No messages, no calls, no notifications, no proof they even remember your name. Yet somehow, they are living inside your thoughts like they never left. And the strangest part? It doesn't even feel like a choice. It feels like your heart is being pulled. Like something unseen keeps whispering their memory back into you. And then comes the terrifying question: why? Is it love? Or is it addiction? Is it your soul trying to hold on? Or is Allah trying to teach you something through this pain? Because listen carefully. This is not just a random thought. This is not just missing someone. This is the kind of feeling that makes people wake up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, wondering, why are they still in my mind when we don't even speak anymore? And here's what most people don't understand. Sometimes, Allah allows someone to stay in your heart, not because they are meant to return, but because you are meant to grow. Because this life is not about who stays. It's about what your heart becomes when they leave. And by the end of this video, you will finally understand the shocking truth behind it. If someone is always in your mind without communication, it is never meaningless. It is never accidental. And it might be one of the biggest signs about your life right now. Stay until the end. Because point number 3 will explain something most people realize too late. Before we begin, tell me honestly, have you ever had someone you couldn't forget? Type yes in the comments. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video, because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publication on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. The psychological reality. Upgraded plus deeper plus more emotional. Let's start with the truth. Because sometimes the truth is the only thing that can free you. And most of the time, when someone stays in your mind, it's not because there is some magical invisible connection. It's not because the universe is sending signs. It's not because they are secretly thinking about you every second. No, it's because your brain, your heart, your emotions are holding on to something unfinished. Psychologists call it something very real. Emotional residue. It happens when someone leaves. But your mind doesn't, because the brain remembers what the heart never resolved. It holds on to emotional memories, unfinished conversations, deep attachment, words that were never said, endings that never came. And right now, this is happening all over the world. A woman in Turkey said just recently, I haven't spoken to him in 3 years, but every time my phone vibrates, my heart still hopes it's him. A man in Canada shared, she moved on completely, but at night, my mind still replays her voice like a song I can't turn off. And another young man in Indonesia said, it's like my life kept moving, but my heart is stuck in a moment that already ended. That's the hardest part. Life closes chapters fast, but the heart doesn't close chapters the way life does. The heart rereads them over and over and over again. Because sometimes, it's not the person you miss. It's the version of yourself you were when they were there. And the mind becomes addicted, not to them, but to the feeling. So if someone is always in your thoughts, it may not be destiny. It may be your mind begging for closure. If this is hitting you right now, don't skip. Because the next part is where it becomes spiritual and much deeper. What do you think is harder, missing someone or accepting they may never return? Write your answer in the comment. It may mean Allah is testing your heart. Upgraded plus more Quran depth plus more powerful emotion. In Islam, the heart is not just a place of feelings. It is not just romance. It is not just emotion. The heart is a battlefield, a place where love, longing, patience, and faith collide. Allah tells us clearly, and we will surely test you. Quran 2:155. And sometimes, one of the hardest tests is not poverty, not sickness, not enemies, but a person you cannot forget. Because Allah knows something most people don't realize. The heart can become attached so deeply that it begins to worship what it loves, instead of the one who created love. Sometimes Allah allows someone to remain in your mind because your heart is attached to creation. Instead of the Creator, you are being purified through longing. You are being taught patience, sabr. You are being redirected towards something higher. And right now, this is happening everywhere. A young Muslim woman in Egypt said recently, "I kept thinking of him every day. I thought it was love. Until one night in sujood, I realized Allah was showing me that my peace was never in him. It was only in Allah. Subhanallah, that is the moment the believer understands. Sometimes you are not missing a person. You are missing tranquility. And Allah is the only source of true tranquility. Because if your heart breaks, it breaks for a reason, not to destroy you, but to return you, to teach you that people leave, that messages stop, that hearts change, but Allah never leaves. So if someone stays in your mind, ask yourself, is this a sign they belong to me? Or is this a sign that Allah is pulling me back to Him? Because not everything you desire is written for you, and not everything you miss is meant for you. Not everything you miss is meant for you. Do you believe emotional pain can be a form of guidance from Allah? Write your thoughts in the comments. Story of Yusuf. A.S. Love, separation, destiny. Upgraded plus more cinematic plus deep Quran reflection. Now let's go deeper. Because the Quran is not just stories. It is the mirror of the human heart. Think about Prophet Yusuf. A.S. A child, innocent, loved deeply by his father. Then suddenly, betrayal. His own brothers threw him into a dark well, and just like that, he disappeared. No goodbye, no explanation, no communication. Imagine that pain. Years passed, no messages, no signs, no proof Yusuf was even alive. Yet one heart never stopped remembering him. The heart of Yaqub, A.S. The Quran tells us something heartbreaking, and his eyes became white from grief. Quran 12:84. His sadness was so heavy that it physically changed him. But ask yourself, did Yaqub's constant thoughts mean Yusuf was sending him signals? No. Did it mean Yusuf was magically connected? No. It meant something far more real. True love leaves traces. But here is the most powerful lesson. Yaqub did not chase the world. He did not collapse into obsession. He did not lose himself. Instead, he turned to Allah. He said, I only complain of my sorrow and grief to Allah. Quran 12:86. Subhanallah. This is the difference between believers and the lost. The believer feels deeply, but returns the pain to Allah. Because Yaqub teaches us, missing someone is not weakness, but losing Allah because of missing someone, that is the real loss. So if someone is always in your mind, remember Yaqub. He carried longing, but he carried it with faith. And this story proves something powerful. Missing someone doesn't mean you should run after them. Sometimes it means you should run back to Allah, because what is written for you will never miss you. This story proves something powerful. Missing someone doesn't mean you should run after them. What's the difference between patience and attachment? Write your answer below. When someone is in your mind, it may mean you need closure, upgraded plus more emotional plus deeper healing message. Sometimes, the mind doesn't repeat a person because they are meant to return. Sometimes it repeats them because you never got closure, because something ended, but it never really finished inside you. No final words, no explanation, no goodbye, just silence. And silence can be one of the most painful endings. A man in Brazil said recently, "She left without goodbye. So my mind keeps writing endings that never happened." Think about that. Your mind becomes a storyteller, trying to complete a chapter that was ripped out. Because the brain hates unfinished stories. It hates unanswered questions. It hates emotional loose ends. So it replays them again and again and again. Not because you are weak, but because your heart is searching for resolution. And right now, so many people live in this invisible prison, waiting for a message, waiting for closure, waiting for an apology, waiting for a reason. But here is the truth most people never learn. Closure is not always a conversation. Closure is not always an explanation. Closure is not always hearing "I'm sorry." Sometimes, closure is surrender. Sometimes closure is accepting that Allah removed them for a reason you may never fully understand. Because not every chapter ends with a perfect sentence. Some chapters end with Allah saying, "Enough." And when Allah closes a door, no amount of thinking can reopen it. So if someone keeps returning to your mind, ask yourself, am I missing them? Or am I missing the ending I never got? And this is the hardest lesson. You don't heal by getting answers. You heal by accepting silence. Because silence is also an answer. You don't heal by getting answers. You heal by accepting silence. Have you ever healed without an apology? Write yes or share your experience in the comments. It may mean you are being called back to Allah, upgraded plus spiritual plus deep heart awakening. Sometimes you think you miss a person, but if you look deeper, what you really miss is not them. It's what they represented: comfort, belonging, meaning, mercy. A feeling of being seen, a feeling of being wanted. And when they leave, the emptiness feels unbearable. So the mind keeps returning to them because it thinks they were the source. But they were never the source. They were only a symbol. Because the truth is, no human being can fill the space that was created for Allah. That space in your heart was designed for something eternal. That is why Allah says, "Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." Quran 13:28. Subhanallah. Not in a person, not in a relationship, not in a message, not in a voice, but in Allah. So sometimes Allah allows someone to remain in your thoughts, not because they are meant for you, but because through them, Allah is waking you up, pulling you back, teaching you. You were searching for peace in creation, but peace was always with the Creator. And this is why heartbreak can become a blessing, because it breaks the illusion that people are permanent, that love is guaranteed, that comfort is found in others. No, comfort is found in Allah. So if someone is always in your mind, ask yourself honestly, is this really about them? Or is this about the emptiness inside me? Because sometimes Allah removes someone, so you stop running toward what fades, and finally return to what never fades. That person became a symbol, but Allah is the destination. If someone is always in your mind, ask yourself, what emptiness are they filling? What brings you more peace? People or prayer? Write your answer in the comments. Final message. Plus strong ending, upgraded plus emotional closure, plus powerful Islamic finish. So now you understand, if someone is always in your mind, without communication, without contact, without any reason that makes sense, it can mean many things. It can mean you have unresolved emotions, your heart is being tested, you are being purified through longing, you are being redirected to something better, you are learning sabr. Allah is calling you closer to Him, but here is the truth, the one that hurts and heals. At the same time, not everyone you think about is meant to return. Not everyone you miss was written to stay. Some people are lessons. Some people are mirrors, showing you parts of yourself you didn't understand. Some people are tests, to see if your heart will attach to the dunya or rise toward Allah. And some people are simply memories, a chapter, a moment, a name that once meant everything, but was never meant to be forever. And this is the question you must ask yourself tonight. When their face returns to your mind again, will you let the thought destroy you? Or will you let it guide you back to Allah? Because the believer does not collapse in longing. The believer grows through it. And remember, what is meant for you will reach you, even if it takes years. And what is not could be in your arms and still never be yours. So stop chasing what Allah removed and start walking toward what Allah is preparing. Because sometimes Allah breaks your heart only to save your soul. If this video touched your heart, share it with someone who needs healing. Tell me in the comments, who is the person your mind keeps returning to? And what have you learned from it?